Okay, cool. William, first of all, welcome to Washington. Glad to have you here. As a cornerback, some of the times, as you know, you're only as good as your defensive line and the guys in front of you. Looking at this Washington defense and the guys on this defensive line, how much, I guess, of an appeal was it to come to Washington, knowing the kind of defense you're joining?
Oh man, it's just a blessing to have that front, man. We got a lot of great guys up front. Quarterback's not going to be able to hold the ball, so with me making the decision, it was very easy because the front that we have, the defense is already good. I'm just a piece to make it better.
William, obviously the front office, Rivera, they know all about you. But for the Washington fans, what are you going to bring to this football team on the field, maybe as a leader in the locker room, maybe somebody in the community? Who is William Jackson?
William Jackson is just a soft-spoken guy, stay out the way. I'm going to come in and try to get a defense swagger and let them know that I'm here to play for them and get some wins. And within the community, I'm just a guy that just like to give back, whatever that may be. I'm just one of those guys that just I don't like to put my face in it. I just like to do things behind the scenes.
Welcome to Washington. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Darren, go ahead.
Hey, is my mic working now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, gotcha. All right, sorry about that. Obviously, welcome to Washington, D.C. I was just thinking, tell us about your journey and getting to where you are now, being like a Fifth Ward guy from Houston and going to not necessarily the D1 school right away, eventually then going to Houston, to getting to where you are now is a defensive back that a lot of people wanted. Talk about that journey on how you got to where you are now.
Just a lot of hard work and dedication. I came from poverty, I came from the worst area that you can come from in Houston, and I just kept that mindset and stayed focused. I had laser focus through it all, and I had a goal that I wanted to reach, and I wasn't gonna let no one stop me. So that's how that happened. Then I ended up going to junior college for some bad grades, early on. Then I ended up picking them up. Then I went to Trinity Valley, where the recruiting was out the roof, and U of H found a way to make it happen. And I wanted my grandmother to see me play. I wanted to stay close to home, so that's how that happened.
Hey, William, Heather McDonough, NBC4. Well, welcome to Washington. Who are some of the first people you called? I got a two-part question, I guess. What were the conversations like with the Washington football team, Ron Rivera, about them wanting you here? And then who were some of the first people you called when you signed this deal to come to DC?
Well, first off, let me thank my agent, Kennard. He was out of town, out the country, and he found a way to make this thing happen. But it was just a good fit. It's great to feel wanted. And I ended up calling my mom. My girlfriend was involved. I ended up just calling a lot of people. I just was so excited to feel wanted and someone feel like I could come in and make their football team better.
And you're seeing all these moves that Washington is making. We talked to Ryan Fitzpatrick yesterday. We got Curtis Samuel coming in here. What does it mean to you when you see a team making these moves? And maybe did you watch Washington at all from like outside and see kind of what Ron Rivera was doing? And how do you feel as now you're part of that potential culture change and new faces here in Washington?
Oh yeah, it's an organization that want to win. That's all they showed me. They want to win, and they want to win now. And I seen all the moves they was making. It's great guys on this football team, and I'm just happy to be a part of it and help everybody better and win some games.
Hi, William. Nikki Javala with the Washington Post. As one of the top corners on the market, I assume you had a number of options coming into this. Are you able to say how many other teams were involved and ultimately what made the decision for you for Washington?
I had a lot of teams. I can't lie. I had a lot of teams. I don't want to name drop, but I had quite a few to choose from. And I just sat back with my agent. Man, Washington was the best fit for me. It just made sense. And this is where I wanted to come. I had a lot of teams lined up from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. And Washington was in that number one range. So that's what we wanted to make happen.
And I don't know how much you've been able to really dive into like the playbook and the scheme and everything, but how do you think you fit Jack Del Rio's system?
Oh, he's a great. Every cornerback that played up under him has had a successful years. So he's a coach that exactly know what he's doing. Every corner succeeds in his defense, and I'm just here to succeed and make it better.
Thanks, William.
Thank you.
Hey, William, John Keim, ESPN. Coming off that injury in 2019, how important was last year getting back? What did you want to show last year to put yourself in a good spot, where you are now?
I just want to show that everybody I was the player that I once was when I first came in the league. Injuries happen. That's just the business we in. But I ended up playing through that whole season with a torn labrum. That shows that I was tough and was willing to give it all to make the team win. And I'm assuming it paid off. And the next year I came, I just wanted to go out there and be the best me.
And then there's a lot of talk how you like to play that press man, that it fits your style.
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, or last year, these guys played a lot of zone. What were some of those conversations like about how they envision their usage for you, and what has been your experience even in zone?
We haven't just really dived into it yet. I think they still tweaking the playbook, so I'm not sure on how I'm gonna be used or what's gonna go on. So I think the next time I come in, I would know. But for right now, it's just been they're still working on the playbook.
Thanks, William.
Hey, William, Pete Haley with NBC Sports. How much do you know about Kendall Fuller? And regardless of how much do you know, what kind of tandem can you two be together in Washington?
Oh yeah, Kendall Fuller. We was at the combine together. We haven't really talked much, but we was at the combine together, and he actually reached out to me when I first signed, and he sounded very excited, and I was excited just to get that warm welcoming, and he playing on the other side of me. So I got a lot of respect for him for reaching out, because he didn't have to, but that just shows you the culture they're creating around here.
And some may point at your 3 interceptions in 50-some games and say, that is a ding on you. What would you say to those people? And does that lack of interceptions bother you at all?
I just tell them to watch the tape. I wasn't getting thrown at a whole lot. I wasn't the guy that got picked on. So I'm assuming that's a good thing I only got 3, because I wasn't the guy that got picked on. I was the guy to go get the job done. And when you covering guys up, I don't think you get many picks.
Thanks, man.
Hey, William, Ben Standig with The Athletic. You had the opportunity to play against these guys last year. What do you kind of recall, both as you were sort of studying the tape, getting ready for the game, and then actually playing against them?
So I was actually following, what's my guy name? Number 17, I think it's Terry or something. I was actually following him the whole game, and he's an outstanding talent. I had to be on top of my A game, and it was fun competing against him. He had his wins, I had mine, and we just had a good game, and I'm assuming that had a lot to do with this signing.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And that was a game, I know for you guys, it was a tough game because Joe Burrow got hurt, but it was also a game for this team that sort of had them catapulted to a good finish. Did you kind of sense anything playing against them, that there was something positive perhaps happening over there that maybe their record wasn't showing at the time?
Oh, no question. Man, they was definitely doing great against us, actually. It just showed that the coaches know how to find a way to win. They was definitely getting after our quarterback. They was making them uncomfortable in the pocket. So they just did a lot of things that made sense, and they utilized off the weaknesses.
Thank you.
Hey, William, Matt Paris with the Washington Times. Just kind of following up on what John asked, do you think you being kind of a man corner, does that allow Washington to play more man, or do you think you'll kind of have to get used to zone? I'm just here to play whatever they want me to play. It's not a big deal. I can play zone or man. It's no big deal. My strengths are just locking dudes up, but I can play man or zone. It wouldn't be a problem. I played that in Cincinnati. We rarely played man in Cincinnati. Thanks.
Hey, I read that you were interested in horseback riding, or you're a horse rider. I would imagine not a lot of guys from the Fifth Ward are avid horsemen. How did that come about?
My grandmother, she had horses in the middle of the hood, you should say. She had horses in the middle, like 5 minutes from downtown. So we was riding horses through cars and everything, getting humped at, and it was just a crazy deal. But my grandmother and my family always have rode them, so it's just a thing that stuck with me.
That's amazing. Do you have any?
Oh yeah, I have 5. Yeah, 5.
I think I left Reese speechless with that question.
Right.
Michael, you're hilarious. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Welcome to DC, William. Rhiannon Walker with The Athletic. You talked about the matchup you had against Terry McLaurin, but one I'm actually pretty interested in is you had a couple of memorable matchups against Ryan Fitzpatrick in 2018 and 2019, some of those high-scoring games. I was just curious, what was your impression of playing against Ryan Fitzpatrick? Obviously, he's one of your free agent signing mates. What do you think he's going to bring to this offense, having played against him? Just what are some of the things that stood out from those 2 games that you guys played against each other?
Actually, man, he's a great quarterback. He's one of the guys that have no fear. Like, he had no fear. He challenged me. He challenged everybody. He's a guy that brings swagger to the team. He's just a fun guy to be around, man. I'm excited to work with him. Excited for him to be one of the quarterbacks. Because he's the guy that know how to win, and he wouldn't be scared to throw his nose in there, too, and get that first down.
I remember he had that 18-yard rush against you guys. Now, I don't know how much you remember from it, but I believe you guys were up like 34-19 at basically the 4th quarter. What were some of your thoughts as this game is progressing and like there's this late quarterback switch and they eventually make this comeback? Obviously, you guys won the game, but just what were some of your thoughts as this game is progressing? You're seeing this guy move down the field with this team and only 4 drives he had.
Yeah, so we prepared for the other quarterback that had started. And when he came in, he just gave a different type of dynamic. Like, it's like he was smart. He knew every defense we was in. And he just drove the ball downfield with the ease. And I just was wondering, like, why this guy wasn't starting? It just didn't make sense. But he did, man. He drove. He looked very comfortable in the pocket, I should say.
All right. Well, look forward to seeing the fun matchups in training camp between you guys. Thank you again, William, and welcome to DC.
Thank you.
William Sam 48 with the Washington Post. My question is Annabelle moving to the DMV?
No. It would be excited for her too, but right now we're gonna keep her back home in my grandmother's backyard and let her just run around a little bit and be an animal. I think we might be a pet too much.
Is that something that like your grandmother's farm like you had growing up, or was Annabelle something that you decided to get just because like it would be different?
Well, actually, my grandmother don't have a farm. We're in the middle of the city, so that's the crazy part. But no, it's just something that just happened. Actually, just wanted something different, and it just popped up in my lap, I guess.
Thank you.
Hey, William, it's Chris Russell from the Team 980 and SI.com. Just curious, you mentioned a lot of teams on your list and maybe like what this process was about. What attracted you to Washington? Like, what you're coming from an organization that isn't viewed and regarded as a great one. This one has changed a lot in the last year. Did you look at Ron Rivera? Did you talk to people about Ron Rivera? Was there any conversation that convinced you that Washington was the right place besides the contract?
Man, all I ever heard was he's a great guy. I'm talking about everyone. I'm talking about players that haven't played for him. Players that a lot of corners, we all talk in the lead, and they just was just harping on how much a great guy he was, and I was like, I want to play for a guy like that people don't probably even had a conversation with you, but they just heard through the grapevine that you were just this great, amazing guy. So it was a no-brainer for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last one, Zach, if you have a question.
Hey, William, first, welcome to Washington. Kind of disappointed to hear that Annabelle's not coming. Are there any teams you're looking forward to matching up with in the NFC East this year?
I haven't really looked too far in it. I just wanted to get the business side out of it and go back and enjoy it with my family. And when this time come back, I'll be the first one in the building.